Hey everybody, it's JaneJohnston with the BriarHillGroup at REMAX Kamloops here in Victoria, BC. We're doing our cross-country market checkup for REMAX agents across the country for August 6, 2020. We have Stephen Lau from Alberta, from Edmonton. We have Christian Twomey from Calgary. We have Laura June from Surrey, BC. Carol Bash from Toronto, and Ken McClelland from Kelowna. It's Kelowna, right?
No, Kamloops.
Kamloops. I always do that. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Good.
Thank you.
Good.
Well, we have had a gangbuster year. Bust and then boom, I would say. We found that recently our markets really picked up here in Victoria. We had, I think, probably an award-winning month last month. I was just wondering if everybody wants to share how it's going in your different areas. Why don't we start with you, Stephen?
I've been super busy since about the end of May when a lot of the restrictions with COVID came off and the pent-up demand really showed up. I've had more multiple offers for homes in the lower price bracket than I've had in the last few years combined, but thankfully I won them all. That's good. But sales are up for sure, but inventory is lower than normal, and prices are fairly stable at the lower price points, but high end is coming down.
Awesome. How about you, Christian?
Yeah, it's been very interesting. Since the COVID restrictions have come off, just a lot like Stephen, we've been very busy. I'm just looking at my whiteboard here. So May, June, and July have been extremely busy months, but specifically for those that are actually out there working for it. There's some opportunities right now in the market, but they have to be identified and kind of gone after. There's also some pitfalls in the market right now, and those have to be avoided. So it's taking somebody that's really got their pulse on what's going on to capitalize on the opportunities and avoid the pitfalls right now here in Calgary for sure.
Okay, well, we'll come back to that with what is a pitfall and the opportunity. Laura June, how about you?
You know, Jane, I think we're experiencing pretty much the same here in the Fraser Valley as you guys are in Victoria, where it was kind of a bust to suddenly a boom. Typically in our market, we see a sales ratio that's about 12 to 20% of all listings will sell. Now we're seeing numbers like 30 and 40%, which in my 15 years, I don't know if I've ever seen 40% sales ratio, but that's what it is right now in Cloverdale. The average price here in Surrey is now $1,053,000. So prices are going up. And in White Rock, this is the craziest one I've seen. In White Rock, number of sales went up 72% over the same time last year.
Holy smokes.
So it's crazy. We're busy.
Carol, what about you?
Well, just in July, they had 11. Normally, of course, summertime is usually supposed to be slower, but they had 11,000 sales in July, 29.5% increase from July last year, and 49.5% from June of this year. So they've really jumped, and at the same time, our condo market, that's our residential, has sort of, the houses were sort of suffering before, and anything under 1.5 is now selling. Over 1.5 seems to be that magical number where things are taking a little longer, but our inventory is still low. The demand is high, and yet the condo market has taken a big hit. The rental market and the condo market with the investors has taken a major hit. They haven't seen this in years. So that's, we're figuring a lot of immigration halts has caused a bit, especially with Toronto. So that's where we are.
Awesome. Okay, Ken.
Yeah, the Kamloops market's busy. I'm not personally that busy right now. I'd like to be a little busier, but the market is busy. Sales actually for July of this year were up 10%, or pardon me, about 10% from what they were July of last year. And our median price has gone from, this is going to sound real cheap to you guys, but our median price has gone from 470 to 510 in the past year. So, and so that's, you know, that's a 10% increase in prices kind of a thing. And so compared to some of the markets you guys are in, that's pretty low. Kamloops is very affordable though, having said that. And so not a bad place to think about. I sell a fair amount of, and work in a fair amount of rural and recreational properties and whatnot, stuff that's a little removed from the city. And that market tends to be a little softer when things go soft. That's the first market to go soft and the last one to come back. And so I need to do a little more lead gen on urban stuff in the city and see if I can pick that up a little bit.
Same thing in Victoria. I have found that the condo market hasn't fared as well as the housing market. And I think partially we're finding that people who felt vulnerable during COVID-19 with rentals have been offloading those rentals right now. So our single family home price, the average for this year was over $1 million. It was $1,033,000 compared to $1,014,000 in June of 2020 and 837 last year. So we are up big time from over a year. And then in terms of condos, the average was 480, same last month, and then up just from 456. So not the same amount of increase. And our inventory is crazy. So we had 290 new listings over the last week and 319 sales.
Oh, wow.
So pacing the market, and our listings are still down. So we're at 2653 right now compared to 2959. So I just want to go back to what the pitfalls are and the opportunities. Christian.
Sorry,
what are
Jane, you're breaking up there.
Okay, what are the pitfalls and opportunities in REMAX Landon?
And the opportunities here. Yes. So what we found here in the Calgary market is the market is quite robust for single family and attached below 500. And certainly when we get into that attached market, we're really robust kind of in that 300 range and lower. So there's some great opportunities there for purchases. And these are some numbers that we haven't seen for quite some time in a lot of these homes. Where if we're above 500, especially in single family, that's when our pricing is so critically important. What we're finding is that the pricing has to be laser sharp to ensure that a buyer's attracted to the property. If we're even above by a few percentage, we're noticing that our showings almost disappear. So you have to be laser sharp with your pricing. And then once you are, there's an opportunity even for multiple offers. Like, it's crazy how tight it really is. And once you hit that threshold of pricing, the proper pricing, things move very quickly. Presentation is also a big one. We've been working with clients on, sometimes for weeks before we put the property on the market, and not because the property is damaged or dirty or anything like that. It's just trying to really detail out the showing and the photography of the home, the staging of the home. We work with staging consultants just to make sure that it's perfect when we actually hit the market, to make sure it reaches the most amount of buyers that we possibly can.
Okay, Laura June, what about you? What's happening in your market?
Well, obviously it's a hot market, but what we're seeing multiple offers, and then we're seeing a lot of deals collapse. So as you can appreciate, it's super stressful when you're going into multiple offers multiple times on the same property. It's that has a lot to do, of course, with the banking right now. Although the prices are going up, the banks are still, I don't know that they're working at the speed that we are right now, is the best way to put it. I know they're doing their best, and I've had some great people help out and get some things done quickly, but everything is taking so much more time, not to mention that just the challenge is once you start buying over $1 million, your requirements also go up. So we have people who, they're getting priced out, basically, is what's happening by the quickly moving market. So that's a big challenge right now. Also, it's that whole catch-22, Jane, we were talking about yesterday. This is great. We can sell your home quickly, but where are you going to go? So right now we're having a lot of people hesitating. They're scared to list because we just don't know where we're going to go. It's a problem.
Okay. Carol, what are you finding in Toronto?
A lot of what Laura was just saying is we finding deals are falling apart. And I don't know, because a lot of the banks are still on skeleton staff. Even when you go into the banks, people are working from home. I don't know if that's slowing down the process for the mortgage and getting everything done. But a lot of deals are coming apart, and used to say the multiple offers are happening. But at the same time, you're afraid to tell your client about, I'm sort of saying, well, let's make sure the person's really financially, and we're asking a lot more questions of the other agents and expecting them to have that information for us because we want to protect our client if they're going to accept the offer. But average price wise, we are up. We're $943 compared to $806 last year. So I know that that's a good thing. And condos price wise are still going up, even though it's taking longer for a condo to maybe sell. A lot of the COVID has caused people to be selling their properties, and now they're stuck because they can't find anything and they're renting houses. So there's multiples on the rentals, but at the same time, people are still moving out of the city and wanting to. I've got requests for all these swimming pool lots. It's people wanting to move out of the city because they've been stuck in maybe a condo or in a neighborhood where they can't go anywhere and their kids have driven them crazy. So they're saying we need to move outside the city. In case this happens again, they want to be doing it fairly quick. And they don't even want long closings because they're worried in case COVID comes back that they're not moved by then. So that's it's valid concerns. Yeah.
Hey, Ken, what about you? So do you think that people are moving out of the city in Kamloops?
Some are, some aren't. I mean, I live in a golf community that's about 20 minutes east of town here, and it might as well be on the moon compared, to listen to some people, because people in Kamloops are used to going 10, 15 minutes, and boy, it better be good when you get there, kind of a thing. And so if it's 20 minutes, that's a bridge too far sort of a thing, and you do have to cross a bridge to get here and a set of railroad tracks. And so it's interesting. So I hear this complaint often. Where I live is a really nice place to live. Of course, I'm biased and everything, but it's great. But people are pretty location sensitive in Kamloops. And I hear some of the other stuff you guys are talking about too, like Christian talking about pricing needing to be real sharp. I mean, even though our market is busy, stuff has to look good and be priced right to sell. And I've got a couple that are sitting there right now that are maybe 20 grand over. That isn't that much difference. Make us an offer, kind of a thing. But people in this polite society and whatnot, they're concerned about not offending somebody or something. Well, hey, we won't be offended. Just make us an offer and we'll see how we do here.
Bring the offer.
Yeah. And the other thing that Laura mentions with regard to banking, that's become a real issue. And I don't know if it's right across the country or whether it's localized or what, but we end up in a situation where we'll write an offer, get it accepted, and have probably, say, 2 weeks on a financing condition. And the day of subject removal, the bank says, oh, we need to do an appraisal. Can you get an extension for a couple of days? And like, it's just, that's easy. Well, that's not easy if there's a backup offer sitting in place in a real busy market, and these bankers just aren't getting it. And it's like they didn't even pick this file up until a day or two ago, and now all of a sudden they're asking for an extension. So, I mean, I know they're under pressure too, but if some way we can, get the bankers on side with the idea that, hey, look, when this thing lands on your desk 2 weeks ago, you need to get on it right now, because condition removal day is going to be critical, because I don't want to have to tell my buyers that, no, we couldn't get an extension and there's a backup offer in place. You guys are in the ditch here because somebody else is buying the house. That's not a good conversation. Sorry?
That's why you need a good broker, because a broker can be the advocate for your client.
Oh, for sure. And I deal with brokers as much as I can, but quite a few clients already have a relationship established with their bank or whatever. And so it makes it an interesting situation. Dealing with a broker is a way better deal. And I've got a couple of brokers that I use regularly. And so that's always a much more pleasant experience. So, and just while I've got the floor here, I want to thank Stephen Lau for a referral he sent to me recently. I met up with his customer this past Sunday. We'd been communicating for a couple of weeks and met up with her this past week, Sunday afternoon of a long weekend, but that was okay. And we went and looked at some properties, and it was just an exploratory tour kind of a thing. But yeah, she was a real kick. I got a bang out of her, Stephen. So that was kind of fun.
She used to be military. She has a lot of attitude. That's really good.
Oh yeah, she's absolutely no nonsense, and it was fun. In my initial conversation with her, she said she was thinking about making a move because she wants to get out from wherever she is before the shit hits the fan, and that was the exact word she used. So
I'm finding in Victoria, people are moving out to the country because they want to move out of condos.
Yeah.
And one reason is because they just felt really cramped with COVID, and they're afraid of the second wave coming. I live in a rural area myself. Is very, very popular right now. So anything under $1 million is just like acreage. And we're like 15 minutes away. Oh, somebody left.
Kristen's gone.
How about you, Stephen? What's going on with you?
Well, our market in Edmonton, the sales have gone up 14% compared to 1 year ago. So that's pretty sizable for our market. Our market's been pretty stable and flat since the oil downturn a number of years ago. And our average sale price is only $436,000. So if you guys have any extra pocket change, come to Edmonton. We're getting featured on the NHL playoffs, and it looks beautiful in the summer. So it's really nice that hockey's in the summer this time, because usually we see Edmonton is blanketed in snow in the winter and no one can see our beautiful river valley. But definitely a good place to come back to if you want to take some of your earnings. Your house has gained so much value in Vancouver and White Rock and Victoria. And if you have any reason to come back to Edmonton, you'll live well and retire, and you don't have to worry. So anyways, that's a little plug for Edmonton.
Well, I have clients moving out of Victoria, so I'm recommending Alberta for sure.
Good.
What's your prediction for the market? Let's start with you, Mr. McClelland.
I'll turn my mic. I think the market's going to hold up as long as we don't get sort of a serious whack of wave 2 kind of a thing. And you know, I think a lot of people are afraid of that, and I don't know. I'm a little bit removed again, and so I've taken maybe a little bit more casual attitude towards COVID than a lot of folks have. We've had a very low incidence of COVID-19 in the interior health region, although there's been a bump in Kelowna lately because people have decided that going back to the bars and rubbing up against each other and whatnot is a good idea when it really isn't. And so we've had that, but in the Kamloops area itself, it's been a very low incidence. And so, you know, even when it comes to showing properties and whatnot, people, you know, you want us to wear masks and gloves? Nah, it's okay. You know, I got a bottle of hand sanitizer by the door. If you can use that, that'd be great. And most people are not too upset about it. And so if that continues to be the case, I think we'll be okay. I think the media has instilled a lot of fear in people, perhaps sometimes unnecessarily, because, you know, and it's good to be cautious, but at the same time, it's not good to be afraid. And I think that if they've got us living afraid, that's not such a good thing. So I think we'll be okay in the long run. Mortgage rates are certainly helping, as long as CMHC doesn't introduce any new restrictions, and as long as they don't go ahead with this home equity tax that seems to be floating across the airwaves all the time lately, we'll hang in there okay.
Okay. What about you, Carol? What are you thinking?
It's a good question. I keep telling my clients I don't have a crystal ball, but there's concern. There's a big, because there's a lot of commercial, and the office, a lot of businesses have closed here. A lot of empty commercial spaces are coming up. And I think that's concerning them, because they know it's going to have a ripple effect. They're moving out of the city, I understand, because a lot of them now have accepted the fact that their companies have even told them, we're probably not bringing you back into the office on a full-time basis. So they don't mind the idea of being able to work as long as the internet works up in cottage country. They figure that's a good thing. And but even listening to what's even happening south of the border, because I have property in Florida, the prices have gone up because of people from New Yorkers are all moving, getting out of the big cities and coming down. And I guess if they're close to retirement, are figuring Florida. And Hawaii has gone crazy, absolutely crazy, with wealthy people going to Hawaii. And now they've gone back to stage 1 because they had 9 deaths in Oahu or something. And they've gone back, but they've been overrun with people coming in with money trying to buy in Hawaii. I guess they figure they're an island and it won't be affected by the rest of the US. I'm not sure.
Well, I know I have a friend who's in Hawaii, and she is saying the same thing, that definitely people are, well, first of all, Hawaiians are a bit upset when people from the mainland come over.
Yeah.
And Christian's coming back in now. Hold on, let me just add him. Hey, I'm finding the same thing on Vancouver Island, that the Islanders are like, hey, this is our island, go away.
Yes.
And my daughter keeps asking, why can't we just tell people they can't come, like, till this is all over? And I said, well, some people have family here. There's quite tenuous, I would say. Christian, what's your prediction for the upcoming year?
My prediction, you know, what I've been saying to people is, to buyers and sellers, is that, you know, if you're a buyer right now in the marketplace, the opportunities really are in front of you. Especially if you're a first-time buyer, or if you're a buyer that's looking to move up into the marketplace, now is the opportunity. If you're equity locked, my communication has been and will remain for some time. If you're equity locked and you can stay put, to stay put, because now may not be the best time for you. So where's my prediction? Where do I think we're going to go? I think that we have a window of time right now, that there's some opportunities in the marketplace. If we go back into a lockdown or back into a situation where we're back into this quarantine situation that we saw back in March and April, I think that'll be very detrimental to the marketplace. We've got record high unemployment right now in Calgary and in Alberta. And I think that will negatively affect us again. And it's a real possibility, frankly, that may happen. You know, not only in Calgary or not only in Alberta, but across the country. You know, there's different pockets that things could go up again. My concern, of course, is that if we do that, what's going to happen to consumer confidence, whether you're buying a home, a car, a t-shirt, or even going to the grocery store to buy a can of soup. How reluctant is that consumer going to be to go out and make those purchases and actually get outside of their four walls of the home? So that's a real concern. So as far as where we go, if we can keep the numbers down, the COVID-19 numbers down, if we you know, listen to the powers that be, we listen to the health. And Dr. Henshaw is doing a phenomenal job here in Alberta, and I know BC, your lady there is doing like just wonderful as well. If we listen to them and can keep those numbers down, I think we're going to do okay. I think you know, at best here right now in Calgary, I think that we could predict the market will hopefully kind of balance out. We've got some struggles here though still that we can't forget about that were pre-COVID. So, you know, I think if we're balanced, and if you're a new person coming into the market, great opportunity. If you're looking to move up, great opportunity. So that's kind of where I stick right now.
Okay. How about you, Laura June?
You know, if I'm having a bit of trouble with sound, so if you guys can't hear me, wave and shout, and I'll stop talking. But you know, I think it's interesting. I think we've figured it out in a lot of cases here, and I think that means we will continue with a strong market at least through the end of the year. The real estate professionals here, we're conducting business. We've kind of gotten over the shock of how we're going to do this, and we're doing this. So we're going to continue forward. The big challenge, of course, is going to be the inventory levels here. And as long as they are what they are and sales are as they are, strong till the end of the year. I agree with what Stephen was saying, and or Ken, that certainly as long as we don't end up with some sort of a government interference, we often get those little surprises, and that will grind our market to a halt very quickly in the Fraser Valley. So hopefully we don't see any surprises like that. We can expect to continue on through the rest of this year.
Okay, and Stephen.
Anticipation. If everyone knows, the CRB emergency payments are coming off right away. Christian, as you can see across the country, all the big strip malls, the businesses are closing left, right, and center. So the retail market is going to trigger a bit of I think, a domino effect. Offices are vacating, and without people working downtown offices, all the shops, all the restaurants that those people supported are also going down. So unless you have really deep pockets, I think we're going to see a lot of businesses being shed over the next 3 to 6 months. I know there's a lot of government support systems out there, but if the underlying business doesn't improve because people are still afraid, we're going to be in a rough ride. And with an election coming up, everything's up in the air. So I think that's going to be a big factor. And as mortgage deferrals come due, count 6 months from April, I think next year, especially in Alberta, Christian can tell me if he agrees, but I think next year could be weak if COVID gets out of control, and also the banks and all the forbearances, all the options for a lot of people who haven't acted to downsize, so they're not stuck in a high mortgage, low equity position. If they don't get out, we're going to see a lot of erosion, and I'm seeing that a lot in the high-end market. It's a great time to buy a big house if you have the money, because those people who need to sell are desperate to sell, and they're going to get more desperate next year.
Okay, Carol.
I guess for me, I'm looking at the idea that this has caused a major transition for how we market to our clients and how we're keeping on top of it. And it's the technology has been quite an adventure for me personally, trying to be able to think outside the box and get away from what I normally traditionally did for leads and for my clients, and getting more creative on the staging, on the virtual tours, and just technology in general. And I know the clients are liking it, but at the same time, I've still got clients that want to see it, feel it, touch it. And they say, well, it doesn't matter how many pictures you take and you walk through the property, there's something we're missing. Maybe you're not catching that little thing that's the stain on the ceiling, which means there was water damage. So there's little bits of things like that that's still hard to, come up with. But there's a lot of different big companies like Matterhorn. There's a few great companies, Cool Media and all, that are actually getting very creative on helping the real estate agents to market better to the clients.
I found there's been a lot of collaboration between agents, especially with REMAX, with their REMAX creative site. If you are interested in learning how to be more progressive in your advertising and marketing, it's absolutely fabulous. What about you, Ken? You using technology? Hold on.
Mike.
Okay. Oh. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm using some technology. I'm not. I've got, of course, a Facebook page and all that for my real estate, and I was posting videos for a while, and I haven't done one for a while. I probably do. Had a new hairstyle and the whole smash, and so I should probably get on it and re-up the
Well,
thing.
you know what? I get clients who call me up because they see me, they follow me on YouTube of all places. And so this show will go on to YouTube and it'll be evergreen. You guys can start sharing it out. But I think for me, it's way more virtual. Many people are pre-checking. We ask that they do a drive-by, they watch the video, they look at the floor plan before they even come in the house. So we don't get, oh, the floor plan didn't work comments anymore.
Yeah, okay. That's good. That's good information, because I haven't used those floor plan models. I haven't used Matterport 3D and stuff in the past, but that's definitely something I got to get onto, because, I mean, if you want to be in the game, you got to be using those tools.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, I wanted to thank you for coming today. I know this is new technology for everybody, but get used to it.
Wait. One more thing before you sign off, Jane. We'd be remiss. We're all wonderful REMAX agents if we wouldn't recognize we are now in August, and it is the month of miracles for the REMAX agents here in the group. So we all support Children's Miracle Network, and for every home that we help someone buy or sell, we donate monies, and we need to be recognized. And don't forget it's Miracle Month, so get those riders up. It's great.
Awesome. Thank you for reminding me of that. I do donate every sale, and it's funny because it comes off the sale. I don't even miss it, and every little penny counts, right?
Yes.
You bet it does.
Okay. Anybody? Let's just say one parting comment from everybody. Stephen, you go ahead.
Everyone, just keep the economy churning. Spend some money if you can, and keep the businesses open and livelihoods going, and keep buying houses and invest in real estate.
Okay, Laura.
In the spirit of Dr. Bonnie Henry, be safe, be calm, be happy.
Kristen.
Yeah, I think in closing, just, there's some great opportunities. Talk to the real estate professional that you trust in any one of these cities. These are all great people that really have the pulse of their community and their area, and talk to any one of us because we have a good idea of what's going on in the market and can guide you through the process. Okay, Ken.
Yes. And the theme of Stephen, shop local, support your local realtor if you can, but spend money locally, keep your local economy going. Don't be ordering a bunch of stuff on Amazon and all that jazz these days because you're afraid to go outside. Don't be afraid to go outside. Wear a mask if you choose, but shop local, keep that local economy turning, and it'll pay off in the end. So yeah, and maintain a positive mental attitude, because it'll all kind of smooth over after a little while. And when you look at the real numbers, the actual numbers, it's not much different than some other things that have come along in the past. And so I think it's just that the media is a lot more cognizant of it now, and so they remind us of it at every opportunity. But yeah, keep your head up, keep your chin up, and no, the other chin. And because we've all had a little bit of the COVID-20 here kind of a thing, and away we go. So good seeing all you guys, and it's good to hear that things are going well in your marketplaces as well.
Okay, and I'm JaneJohnston with the BriarHillGroup at REMAX Kamloops, and I just want to say stay safe, respect one another, and again, shop local. And I also want to acknowledge the hard work that all the realtors have done over the past 6 months to adapt to make real estate work for buyers and sellers and have them work in a safe way for everybody. So congratulations, everybody. Glad to see you're all healthy. And we'll see you next month on our cross-country market update. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.